Hi guys, Codetutor here and my name is Anil Deshpande. In the previous video, we had a glance at what happens when you declare an activity with an attribute called as single task. What's happening is initially when you launch an activity, the number of tasks are 1 and there is only one activity which is at the root of that particular task, that is activity A. And now from activity A, I launch activity B. Please make a note that the launch mode of the activity B is single task. So the B will be put on top of A, and now if I launch C will be put on top of B, and if I launch D from C, then D would be put on top of C. So far there are no surprises. Now what I will do is I will launch activity B, which is a single task launch mode, from activity D. And if you observe the tasks and the activities, it suddenly becomes reduced. The number of activities are 2. So let us revisit and understand what is actually happening. The activity B is single task launch mode, and when I click once again to launch activity B from activity D is popped, and then activity C is popped. Activity B, which is then on top of the task, will be retained, and that is why you see activities becoming 2. So does that mean single task is like a single top but with a extra privilege? Looks like that, but what does the Android's official documentation says about single task? So if you open the Android's official documentation, it says few things which are very familiar to you, that if an instance of an activity already exists in the separate task, the system just reuses the existing instance, and only one instance of the activity can exist at a particular time. However, it also says that it creates a new task and instantiates the activity at the root of the new task. So according to this, what should happen is when activity A gets launched, it will be part of one task, and then when activity A launches activity B, whose launch mode is a single task, that should be basically part of a new task, and activity B should be launched in that particular task. So what this basically means is the number of tasks are 2 and activities are also 2, that is one activity for each task. This actually conflicts with our notion wherein when we launch activity B from activity A, it got launched in the same task, and that is why you were seeing in the earlier case the tasks are still one and there are 2 activities. Does that mean the documentation is wrong? The documentation is not wrong. Only the thing is it doesn't mention task affinity. Now the question is, what is this task affinity? Assume that you have 2 tasks. Both of these tasks can belong to the same application, or it is quite possible that task 1 and task 2 actually belong to 2 different applications. And now when you want to launch an activity, say activity A, it can be either be part of task 1 or it can be launched as a part of task 2. So basically what it boils down to is what is the preference of the activity in terms of with which task it wants to be associated with. That is task affinity of the activity. So if you go back to the documentation, by default all activities in an application have the same affinity. Activities with the same affinity conceptually belong to the same task, at least from the user's perspective, and affinity of the task is determined by the affinity of its root activity. So what does this mean from the developer perspective when he declares an activity in the manifest file? What it basically means is all these activities, activity A, B, C, D, belong to the same task by default because their affinity is same. Now the next question is, what is the value of that affinity, or what that affinity means? By default it is the package affinity. Whatever the package name that you declare in the manifest file, that is the default affinity of all the activities that are there in that particular application. So that is why all these activities get launched in the a single task. Now what if you want to change the affinity of activity B, which has a launch mode single task? For that you have to use another attribute called as task affinity and give a value which looks like some kind of a package name. In this case I have given a random value like com.sum.new.affinity. Now the affinity of the activity B is different from the all other activities. So now having understood what task affinity means, we go back to the same question. How does this work in real? For that, we have to understand the single task in two ways, that is with task affinity and without task affinity, which we shall do in the next video. So stay tuned. That brings us to the end of this particular video. Don't forget to like, comment, share the video and subscribe to the channel. Take care. Bye.